So we'll start off the profile with our Morphtronic monsters. So we'll start with 3 copies of Morphtronic Cell Phone. Cell Phone is our big play starter. So the Morphtronics all have 2 different effects based on whether they're in attack position or defense position. All of their better effects are when they're in attack position, so those are the only ones that we really use. So Cell Phone, whenever he's in attack position, you can once per turn roll a 6-sided die, excavate cards off the top of your deck equal to the number you rolled, and then if there's a Morphtronic among the cards you excavated, you can special summon one of them. So he's our key play starter. You can link him off and special summon him back from the graveyard to use that effect multiple times, or if he hits a copy of himself, you can use the effect of the next one. So yeah, he's really good to start our plays. Next, we have 3 copies of Morphtronic Smartphone. So Smartphone, you can special summon from your hand by banishing a Morphtronic from your graveyard. He can also be special summoned off of Morphtronic Cell Phone's effect, but he cannot be normal summoned or set. So his effect, similar to Cell Phone's, is you roll a 6-sided die and excavate, except instead of special summoning one of the monsters that you excavated, you can add it to your hand. But he is also a tuner, so he helps us with our Halka-Fireaxe plays as well as some of our Synchro plays. Then our last Morphtronic monster, we have 3 copies of Remote. So Remote is the best card to hit off of the Cell Phone effect. Remote's effect is that you can banish a Morphtronic monster from your graveyard and then add a Morphtronic monster with the same level from your deck. So you can banish a Cell Phone and add a Smartphone, or you can banish a Smartphone and add another Smartphone. Most of the time we just want to add Smartphones because that's the one that we can continuously special summon. But that is it for the Morphtronic monsters. So next we have a small Deskbot package consisting of 3 Deskbot 03 and 1 Deskbot 01. So Deskbot 03, when it's normal summoned, special summons a Deskbot other than itself out of the deck. Our only other target for that is Deskbot 01. The main reason we play this is you can normal summon it and then have a 1-card Halka-Fireaxe and get your Deskbot out of the deck. Deskbot is our main target that we summon with Halka-Fireaxe, so getting him out of the deck early means that we can summon something like Remote instead and dump a Morphtronic, and then we still have Deskbot engraved to do our plays. 03 also has a quick effect that sometimes you may end up using, not very often, but occasionally you might, where you can target 1 Deskbot monster you control and then it gains 500 attack and defense for each Deskbot card you currently control. So whenever you combine that with Deskbot's continuous effect that he gains 500 attack for each machine on the field, and you're playing a lot of machines, you're going to have a lot of machines on field at once throughout your combo, you could potentially get your Deskbot to 4,500. So that could come up. But next we will move on to our extender, 3 copies of Machina Fortress. So Machina Fortress, alongside being a 2500 beat stick, is a really good extender for most machine decks, especially ones that like having cards in the graveyard. So what you can do is you can discard machine monsters to special summon it from the hand or graveyard. So as long as you discard levels that equal 8 or more, and one of the cool things about it is that you can discard itself for 7 of those levels, so it plus any machine monster out of your hand to special summon it from the graveyard. It also has this really strange niche effect that I've never really seen on any other monster, where if it's targeted by your opponent's monster effect, you can, before that effect resolves, look at your opponent's hand and discard one card from it. So that's pretty cool. A lot of people won't know that. So like if they attempt to DD Crow it in the graveyard or something like that, you can chain Fortress's effect to rip a card out of their hand. So it's got some pretty interesting applications as well as being an extender. Next we have our Garnets. We play 2 copies of Mecha Phantom Beast Coltwing. So the reason we play 2, where most people play 1, is if we draw this card when we only play 1 copy and it's not in the deck, when we don't have a copy in the deck to resolve the effect of Auroradon, we cannot make anything other than 1 negate. Like, that's our best board if we don't have a copy in the deck. So I decided to start playing 2 because I kept drawing the 1 whenever I was playing 1 copy so often. So I bumped it up to 2, and now that is no longer an issue. And then our last Garnet that we play is 1 Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds. So Coltwing, whenever it's summoned, summons tokens to loop our Deskbot summon, and then the Barrier Statue, we have a way of special summoning out of the deck via Raid Raptor Arsenal Falcon. And so the Barrier Statue says neither player can special summon monsters except for wind. So when you tack this on to the end of our board, you can lock down special summoning as well as having a few negates on board. So that's it for the monsters that we actually summon. Now we play quite a few hand traps, so I'll go through those real quick. So we play 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. This is just like one of the best hand traps in the game right now. Pretty much every deck searches, and if you know which search to hit, Ash can be really impactful. And for another powerhouse of a hand trap, we play 2 copies of Nibiru. Versus any kind of combo deck, a well-timed Nibiru can pretty much stop their turn. There's very few decks that can play through it. And then 2 copies of Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. Dragon Link has been running around in the meta right now, as well as many other decks that play around with the graveyard, special summoning, banishing, and whatnot, so Ghost Bell does come in handy quite a bit. So that is it for the monsters. Now we can move on to spell and traps. So I will start off with our one-ofs. 1 for 1 to summon our cell phone. Monster Reborn to loop our cell phone or smartphone. And then Called by the Grave to ensure that those effects go through. Mostly Halqifibrax, but cell phone and smartphone could be important as well. Next, we play 3 copies of Junk Box. So this is a non-once per turn, essentially Monster Reborn for Morphtronics. What it does is it special summons 1 Morphtronic from your graveyard, and then you destroy it during the end phase. But since we're using them for Link material and Synchro material, that last clause doesn't matter. Then we play 3 copies of Where Art Thou. So this card's really cool for decks that play level 1 monsters. While you control a level 1, you can add a level 1 monster from your deck to your hand, but if you don't normal summon it, then you take 2,000 damage during the end phase. Also, this is not once per turn, so you can use it multiple times. However, you will take the damage in multiples times the number of times you use the card. But basically, we use this card to search our smartphone out while we control either a Deskbot or a cell phone. Alright, and now lastly we have some tech cards. If you choose to use some more expensive cards, you can here in the place of these, but I'm just using what I have for the budget that I play at. So I have 3 Drag Down into the Grave. So what this does is both players reveal their hands, and then each player picks one from each other's hands to discard, and then both players draw a card. So this is useful for getting rid of your opponent's hand traps like Nibiru, because we really struggle with playing through that. Ash is not really that big of a deal. Droll, a lot of the times we can play through, Lancia sometimes, but Nibiru is a really big problem, so I've decided to put in 3 Drag Down. However, if you want to play some other form of an out to Nibiru, or triple tactics or something like that, you could replace this with that. And then I also have 2 Cosmic Cyclone for outing spell traps. So if you wanted to run a more expensive spell trap out, like Lightning Storm or Feather Duster or something like that, you could run that in those places. But that rounds it out to 40 cards for the main deck. So now we can move on to the extra. Alright, so for the extra deck, let's start out with our links. We will start off first with the most important pieces to our combo, Crystron Halqifibrax and Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon. So, Halqifibrax is one of the best synchro combo cards in the entire game right now. Whenever it's link summoned, you can special summon a tuner from your deck in defense position, but its effects are negated. So we use this to special summon out our Deskbot, and then Halqifibrax is also a machine, so we use Deskbot and Halqifibrax to link into Auroradon. So Auroradon, whenever it is link summoned, you can special summon 3 Mecha Phantom tokens that are level 3 machines. So Deskbot 01 says that when 2 or more machine monsters are summoned at the same time, he can special summon from the graveyard, which is not once per turn. So whenever these tokens hit the field, you special summon your Deskbot. So that's our first way to loop the Deskbot summons. And then he has a secondary effect where you contribute monsters and either destroy a card on the field, special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast monster from the deck, or add 1 trap from the graveyard to your hand. So these effects are based on the number of monsters you tribute. So if you tribute 1 monster, you can destroy a card. If you tribute 2, you can summon a Mecha Phantom Beast from the deck. Those are really the only 2 effects we'll use. The tribute 2 monsters is what we use for the combo. So we use that effect to summon Coltwing from the deck to summon more tokens after a Synchro summon to trigger our Deskbot again and loop it multiple times throughout the turn. So then we have our other links that we play. Blinkarivo for linking off our cell phone. Also, we can tribute it near the end of our turn after we've been locked out of link summoning with Auroradon, just as a way to protect our Herald or our barrier statue from being destroyed by battle. And then our other link 1, Salamangreat Almirage. We can use this to link off remote or cell phone, and just get them into the graveyard. That's really all it's useful for. Its effect is kind of irrelevant to our strategy. Then we have 1 Nightmare Cerberus. So we use this to pop our Nibiru token before going into combo, because our only other way to really destroy cards by card effect would be Auroradon, and we need to use the tribute effect to summon the Coltwing to do our combo, so we can't use both of those in the same turn. So I put Cerberus in here also as a way to bait out negations. So if your opponent has like a Warlord Savage Dragon or something like that that has a negate, you can make a Cerberus and then attempt to destroy it, get negated, and then make another monster, or put another tuner on board and link it into Halqifibrax so that you get that negate out of the way. Then we play Clifford Genius. We don't really summon this one too often. We mostly just use it because it's a machine link 2 with good arrows. So we use it just to link off if we have too many monsters on board, because we need to clear enough room for the combo. We need all 5 monster spaces to do the combo, and our key goal is to have Halka-Fibrax plus 1 other monster on board before the one he summons, before the Deskbot. So we need every other zone clear for the combo to work, so Genius is just there to link off. Next we have our link 4s. We only play 2, Borreload Dragon and Borrelsword Dragon. So Borreload, in addition to just being a big monster that can quick effect decrease attacks, he is also a really good out to a Dragoon that has already used its negate, as well as being able to steal other problem monsters. And then Borrelsword Dragon, if the Dragoon has not used its negate, can't be destroyed by battle, so you can run straight into it. And as long as you don't use its effect, you can crash with it, kill the Dragoon, and keep your Borrelsword on field. As well as just being great for OTKs with his other effect to switch a monster in defense and attack twice. So that is it for the link monsters. Now we'll move on to the synchros. So we start off with 2 copies of Herald of the Arclight. So Herald of the Arclight has this continuous effect that any monsters that would be sent from the main deck or from the hand to the graveyard are banished instead. So this stops a lot of decks that play with the graveyard. Anything that needs to Foolish Burial its monsters, like Virtual World or Zombies, Eldritch, things that want their cards to hit the graveyard just can't activate. So that effect is really, really powerful, as well as being able to tribute itself to Omni Negate Destroy any card that's activated. So the reason we play 2 is because we can regularly put 2 of them on board. That tribute to negate destroy is not a once per turn. The fact that you tribute it is what makes it, I guess, soft once. But if you have multiple copies, you can do that multiple times per turn, as well as being able to keep 1 on the field for the Macrocosmos-like effect after you've used 1 of the negates. Next we play another synchro for Phonon Pulse Dragon. So Phonon Pulse is this really interesting card I found. So it is a tuner that whenever it's synchro summoned, you can declare a level from 1 to 3, and then its level becomes that level, but for the rest of the turn you can only special summon 1 more time, and it has to be a synchro summon using it as material. So the reason I play this card is in case our full combo either gets stopped or we don't have enough pieces to fully complete it, and all we can do is just make Halka-Fibrax by himself to summon the Deskbot. That by itself, with using Phonon Pulse, allows us to make a Herald of the Arclight and a Borreload Savage Dragon with 2 negates just off of that and no extenders. So I will show you that in the combo tutorial, but yeah, Phonon. Next we play Black Rose Dragon. This could be literally any Synchro 7 monster. I just play this one because it's pretty. We only use it for overlay material. Then we have our Borreload Savage Dragon for our alternate inboard. So Savage is a 3000 attack, level 8 synchro that whenever he's summoned, you attach a link monster from your graveyard to it as a equip spell, which we will automatically have our Halka-Fibrax engrave. Then he places counters on himself equal to its link rating, which would be 2, and then you have Omni Negates for those counters. Now they do not destroy, they're just negates, and they are hard once per turn. So each counter The fact that you have 2 counters doesn't mean that it's twice per turn. You still only get 1 per turn, but you get a second negate during your turn when it comes back. And then he also gains half of the attack of the monster that's equipped to him. So yeah, just a pretty solid end board monster, as well as being pretty big for attack. Then we have Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. So if we are made to go second, we can do a similar combo, or a couple different combos to make a Synchro 8. But we can make Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend to wipe our opponent's board, or clear a good portion of it at least, anything that can be destroyed by card effect, and then also get in some burn damage. Or if we're running into time, we can make this activate its effect and destroy our own Auroradon to inflict 500 burn and get that burn damage during game 3 to get the win at the end for time. And then our last monster, we play 1 Ixies, Raid Raptor Arsenal Falcon. So he is a rank 7, which is what we're using our Red Rose Dragon for, or Black Rose Dragon for. So what he does is you can detach a material and special summon a winged beast. That's the only effect that we really use, but we use that effect at the end of our combo to summon the barrier statue and lock our opponent out of special summoning. So the cool thing about having the barrier statue is we end with Auroradon still on the field, and so before we start playing, if we want to open ourselves up to special summoning and we know we're going to push for game, we can tribute off the barrier statue with Auroradon and destroy one of our opponent's cards, and then proceed to special summon and then go for that OTK. Alright, so that's it for the profile. Let's go ahead and move over to the combo tutorial. Alright, so we have 2 main combos that we do. One primary combo and then one alternate combo in case we either don't have the extender to go for full combo or we get interrupted and just don't have the means necessary to get back to where we were going to be. So both of these combos rely on Halqifibrax and summoning Deskbot. So if we summon Deskbot before Halqifibrax resolves, then it doesn't really matter if he resolves as long as we can get the extender for the play. But if we don't open the Deskbot or the Deskbot 03, then we really rely on Halqifibrax resolving. But my favorite way for making Halqifibrax in this deck, the way that kind of guarantees that we're going to have most of our combo, is by summoning Cell Phone and then Cell Phone's effect summoning Morphtronic Remote. So whenever you get this to happen, a key step to the combo, or the best the way that you use this to get your full combo, is before making Halqifibrax, you link off your Cell Phone into a Linkuriboh, and then you use Remote's effect to banish Cell Phone and add a copy of Smartphone. So now, whenever you link off into your Halqifibrax, you will have the free special summon off of Smartphone by banishing Remote to have that extra monster. So Halqifibrax summoning Deskbot plus 1 monster on field is what we consider to be full combo. Then if we have another Smartphone in hand, that's extended full combo where we get our double Herald. So I'm going to show you our main full combo based on having these cards on field. So our first step is we're going to link Halqifibrax and Deskbot into Auroradon. So Auroradon, whenever it's summoned, will summon 3 machine tokens. This triggers Deskbot effect in Graveyard, which is not once per turn. Then we can use 2 of the tokens for 6, and Deskbot to Synchro summon for 7 into Black Rose Dragon. After we summon Black Rose, we can tribute the remaining 2 monsters. This is presumably after you've used Smartphone's effect to add 1 to your hand, to summon the Mecha Phantom Beast Colt Wing out of the deck. So then, when we summon Colt Wing, we get 2 more tokens, triggering Deskbot for the 2nd time. So, Colt Wing, in addition to summoning tokens, also gains levels equal to the level of all the tokens on the field. So right now he's 4 plus the 2 3s, 6 for 10. So what we want to do is we want to drop him to 7. So what we do first is we Synchro summon using 3 and 1 to go into our first Herald of the Arclight. So now that we've gotten rid of one of the tokens, our Colt Wing is now at a level 7. So now we can take Black Rose and Colt Wing and overlay them for rank 7 into Arsenal Falcon. So now if this is all we had, we would go ahead and detach from Arsenal Falcon and make our Barrier Statue. So we'd have Barrier Statue plus Macrocosmos 1 negate. Now, a lot of the time though, we will either have a junk box to re-special summon the smartphone, or another copy of smartphone in hand because it's very easily searched in this build. So if we have another smartphone, what we do is we banish this copy of smartphone, summon this one, use its effect to add to hand. I'm not going to do that right now because my deck is stacked, but then after resolving that effect, we can Synchro for 4 again into another Herald. And then sometimes even you'll have a 3rd smartphone or another junk box. So let's say we have a junk box, special summon the smartphone, use its effect again to add to hand, then tribute it for the Blink Revo that we used on the cell phone earlier to have a protection for these guys during battle phase. Then whenever we're finished with this board and we all have 1 zone left and we have no other things left to do, we detach 1 from Arsenal Falcon and summon our Barrier Statue. So yeah, this is the ideal board we're going for. If you are missing 2 pieces like this and have a token instead, this is perfectly fine. This is still Macrocosmos with an Omni Negate and a Wind Barrier Statue preventing your opponent from special summoning. This is still a hard board to get over, as well as having a good bit of attack and some follow-up plays for next turn, being able to tribute and pop monsters. And if you wanted to, and you still have your other Colt Wing in the deck, you could tribute to summon Colt Wing and summon your Deskbot back and go into your Synchro 8 plays. But yeah, that's it for the first combo and our primary combo. So now I will show you our alternate combo. Alright, so this alternate combo is for whenever we have a bad hand or we're not able to extend to that extra monster with Alcafires. So let's presume we have a hand like this, where our only play is to Machina Fortress, dump Deskbot, summon itself, and then normal summon Ghost Bell. Ghost Bell's a tuner, so we can make our Halka-Fireaxe with these, but we have no further plays to extend. So right now, we have Halka-Fireaxe, who can summon a tuner. Thankfully, we do have another target other than Deskbot, and he is already in the grave, so we can instead summon a Morphtronic remote. So now, since we have the 2+ machines, we can make our Auroradon, and Aurora will summon the tokens to trigger the Deskbot summon from grave. Now we can Synchro for 4 straight into the Herald. And then we can use these 2 tokens to tribute and summon the Occult Wing from the deck. And then that will summon our 2 more tokens, trigger Deskbot again. Now we go for 4 into our Phonon Pulse Dragon. So Phonon Pulse, whenever it's summoned, we declare level 1. Since there's another token on the field, Occult Wing is currently at a level 7, so this is a level 1 tuner plus 7, and our only special summon left for the turn. So we Synchro summon these guys for 8 into Borreload Savage Dragon, who then has Alkafy Rex in the grave, which you can equip for 2 negates plus 750 attack, leaving you with a 3 Omni Negate board, technically 2 per turn, but you do have a 3rd on the follow-up, plus Macrocosmos on just Alkafy Rex by himself. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the combos that you need to know for this deck. Other than that, if you're gonna play it, just play around with it, figure some different ways to play out if you like, change some stuff around if you feel the need to. But yeah, other than that, I feel like this is probably the most playable version of Morphtronics against meta decks. And I hope you guys like this profile, and I plan on making some more profiles in the future, so if you want to see that, leave a like and subscribe.